Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. I'm going to put a smile on your face to start the day with good news. Okay. Last night, as usual, buried on a Friday night, this is when stuff comes up. The three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 5th District reaffirmed its stay on Biden's workplace mandate. So as of right now, still, OSHA cannot do anything. All right. Now, remember last Saturday, the Circuit Appeals Court said no, and the Justice Department had till Monday afternoon to do something. We didn't hear anything. Okay. Well, on Monday, the Justice Department requested that the stay be lifted, saying that it would likely cost dozens or even hundreds of lives per day. And the court said, blow it out your ass. All right. The court has ordered OSHA to take no steps to implement or enforce the mandate until further court order. Okay. Now, as you guys know, there were 26 states that sued over this and said it wasn't going to happen. But this is exactly what the circuit court said. The mandate is a one-size-fits-all sledgehammer that makes hardly any attempt to account for differences in workplaces and workers that have more than a little bearing on workers' varying degrees of susceptibility to the supposedly grave danger the mandate purports to address. So, as of Saturday, or as of Friday, the 12th, no, the courts or the employers cannot mandate you get the vaccine because the federal government told them so. Now, I'm going to make the caveat in here again, because that does not mean that the court or that companies cannot still mandate it because they want to. They're still allowed to do that. But if a company comes up and says, well, we're doing it because the federal government says we have to, you tell them, no, sorry, that was struck down by the courts. Okay? So no, it does not have to be. Now, I said a long time ago, this is going to fall apart. That they're going to try this and the companies are going to start standing up going, we can't do this. We're going to lose money. We're going to lose business. We're going to lose employees, whatever it would be, and they're going to refuse. There was a story that came out yesterday afternoon. Angela Phillips, who's the CEO of Phillips Manufacturing in Tower and Shelby Welded Tube, it's a company out of Ohio. They make things like steel tubing for the automotive industry or for the construction industry or anything like that. She has said that she will not, under any circumstances, mandate her employees get the jab. Just not happening. All right. Regardless of what the federal government says. She has 104 employees. As for right now, she said 28 of her employees are fully vaccinated. Their choice. Okay. 16 employees have tested positive in the past for COVID, had COVID, and so they now have natural immunity. All right, so that's 44%. All right, so that leaves 60 more. The rest of the people said either they would not or will not get it based on whatever their personal beliefs are. Okay? That's, again, their choice. 17 of those people are in positions that are highly skilled workers that the company would be very, very hard-pressed to replace. Now, being a recruiter, I have an idea what she's talking about in regards to types of positions. These are probably very specific engineers. Now, as she said right now, they are still short-staffed, eight people. It's costing them close to $1 million in additional overtime. Employees are working 10-hour shifts 6 days a week. because they're short 8 people. This is the labor shortage we have already. And this is why she's saying no, not going to happen. I mean, she's got one contract, supposedly. Don't ask me about this one. That there's a $25,000 penalty for each hour that her client is without the product. So talk about being on a deadline. Talk about shipping issues. Can you imagine $25,000 an hour in a way of a fine? I don't blame this woman. But so you get even better, all right? And the new adjutant general for the Oklahoma National Guard has said he will not mandate the vaccine for the National Guard in Oklahoma. Now, that's going directly against a DOD order. Okay, Lloyd Austin, Secretary of Defense, said all military personnel, I think it's December 4th, is for active duty, and I think it's June 30th of next year for National Guards and reservists. But the Oklahoma new commanding general has said, not happening, we're not doing it here in Oklahoma. Now, how this comes into play, remember that the National Guard is a state-controlled military force, if you will. They report to their governors. However, most of the funding for the National Guard comes from federal government. Oklahoma is one of these states that is anti-mandate. However, the National Guard's majority of the money comes from the federal government. So as this general is saying, and there's 2 different laws that he's trying to do. It's like, okay, do we have to follow the federal law or do we follow the state law? Well, in the military, you follow your chain of command. His chain of command, he reports directly to the governor of Oklahoma, who said no. Okay? So this is his theory on it. Now, as a military officer, his chain of command includes Lloyd Austin. So this is where it gets very sticky, and it's something that's very important to watch as to what happens here. Now, if the federal government cuts off funding for the Oklahoma National Guard, okay, you see what happens then. If the National Guard starts having to kick people out left and right because of this mandate, like active duty supposedly has to, then you have that issue. But this is what I'm saying. This is good news that came out overnight, that a company cannot mandate the vaccine based on federal mandates. Like I said, again, they can if they want to under their own, but don't let them tell you the government said we have to do it. No, they did not, okay? And you need to fight back on that one. That's when you ask them specifically, okay? The government did not do that. It has been stayed by the court. You can tell them to look up BST Holdings versus OSHA. That is the actual court case. And make them tell you this is a mandate that the company is putting out. Don't let them hide behind the federal phony mandate. That's what's going on right now, guys. So thought I'd give you some good news this morning, let you know a couple of places where it's being fought already. But you are going to see probably a lot more of this when companies are going to tell Joe to go pound sand, because it's a job killer. It's a company killer, more or less. So, we'll see what happens. But it's nice to see that there are intelligent people still sitting on the court. Have a good Saturday. If anything comes up, you know where to find me. See y'all. Pinball out.